Mr. President, following the leader's remarks, I want to make an additional point. This is not the first time we have made this offer to the Republicans. On the floor of the United States Senate and the House, they keep notes of everything that is said. This young lady is a stenographer, and she keeps these notes together and creates a record literally known as the congressional record that is passed out every single day to members to read what happened the day before. I took a look at this congressional record for March 5th, that was last Thursday, on page S870, and it contains a debate between Senator Patty Murray, the Democratic ranking member in the Appropriations Committee, and the junior senator, Republican senator from the state of Alabama. An offer was made on that page by Senator Murray to do exactly what the leader just said. This was last week. Last week, Senator Murray said, let's narrow this down to the items of debate and contention: the future of ICE and the future of the Border Patrol. But let's fund everything else in that agency. So there's no question that the men and women who work with TSA at the airports are going to be paid on time. The Coast Guard will be paid on time. And the other agencies that are other separate and apart will also be paid on time. She made this offer on page S870, and there was an objection. Under the rules of the Senate, it just takes one senator to object. But the junior senator from Alabama, speaking on behalf of the Republican side, objected to funding all of the rest of this department, save two specific agencies. She objected to it, so she had her chance last Thursday. We're going to give the Republicans another chance. We've been told that TSA is about to miss a paycheck. Think of the thousands and thousands of men and women who work in the airports to keep us safe and whether they should receive a paycheck. We think they should, and that's why Senator Murray is going to make that offer today. I hope the Republicans will cooperate this day in a way they didn't last week. It's been nearly a month since this shutdown started. Already, it's the third shutdown of President Trump's second term, the third time. Why? Because the White House and my Republican colleagues refused to consider reforms on ICE. Did you see the videos of what happened in Minneapolis? In your own eyes, you don't need my interpretation. You saw what happened to people there protesting the activities of ICE who ended up being shot and killed on the streets of Minneapolis. Is that something that we signed up for when we started this deportation effort? Remember what the president said over and over again? We're going after the worst of the worst. Terrorists, murderers, rapists, the criminally insane who snuck up across our border in the past several years. We're going to go and arrest them. Well, I'll tell you this, sign me up for that mission. We want to make sure our streets are safe, and if someone is here illegally, commits a serious crime, they go to jail or they get out of the country. Two choices. That's a bipartisan feeling. But they've gone further. Take a look at the actual record of ICE and the Border Patrol in this mission that they have of mass deportation that has been ordered by Stephen Miller, the president's deputy chief of staff. 6 out of 7 of the people who have been arrested and detained and moved to different locations by ICE and CBP were people who had no criminal record. None. Not one. 6 out of 7. What kind of law enforcement operation is that gets 6 innocent people for every person who's guilty? Something's wrong here. We've got to change it. And some basic questions. Would you want the door of your house to be crashed down? Of course not. And if you did, you'd think it better be for good reason if the government's going to do that to my home and my family. And that requires the court to give approval to it to happen. It's called a judicial warrant, except the ICE agents believe they're not bound by that law. They can crash down a door if they wish, and they've done it over and over and over again. Do you think that's right? I don't. It's one of the issues we want to debate with them. And when it comes to the mask that they're wearing, I talked to law enforcement back in my home state of Illinois. How many of our state troopers wear a mask to work every day? None. How many of the Chicago policemen wear a mask every day? None. What it comes down to is we're pushing for good police practices that are applied in communities all across America. Somehow or another, the ICE agents think they're exceptional. They don't have to identify themselves and they can wear a mask. I think that's wrong. And when it comes to their jurisdiction, it's an esoteric legal question, but it's an important one. How far can the Border Patrol go beyond the border to enforce the law? They believe under this administration they can go anywhere in the United States. Previous administrations believe that the statutes have restrained where they can go. These are fundamental questions that relate to the Constitution, to the Bill of Rights, and to the laws in this land. We want to make sure that they're followed, and that's why we're negotiating the future of ICE and Border Patrol. But today, Senator Murray is going to give notice again. We are prepared to fund every other aspect of the Department of Homeland Security. That is something that I think is fair and should go forward. The Republicans opposed it last week. I hope that they'll support us this week. The men and women at TSA should not be held hostage to our negotiation. Let's get serious about getting all the negotiation done, but in the meantime, let's fund the agencies that are critical in this department. Mr. President, I yield the floor.